Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So if you're into mystery thrillers with a touch of humor and heart, then today's video is for you. Because today, I'm diving deep into the Thursday Murder Club, the Netflix adaptation of Richard Osman's best-selling novel. And this video will be a full movie explanation. I will break down the entire story, including all the twists, the cold case, and that emotional ending. So if you haven't watched it yet, then there will be major spoilers for you. So the story kicks off in the British retirement community of Cooper's Chase, a former convent turned luxury home for seniors. And here we meet the Thursday Murder Club, a quartet of elderly detectives, who meet every Thursday to crack unsolved cold cases. And this group was founded by Elizabeth and her friend Penny Gray. Well, Elizabeth is a no-nonsense ex-MI6 agent with a sharp mind and a mysterious past. And her friend Penny Gray is a trailblazing former detective, who was the only woman on her police force in the 1970s. Then after those two, we have Ron and Ibrahim. Well, Ron is a fiery retired trade unionist, who is quick with his fists and opinions. And Ibrahim is a gentle psychiatrist dealing with his own isolation. But when they are analyzing a cold case, they felt that they need a medical expert, and that's how we meet the newcomer Joyce. And Joyce is a retired trauma nurse, who has just moved in after losing her husband. Well, Joyce brings medical expertise to the table, which proves crucial in some critical times, but Elizabeth has recruited her temporarily. And as Joyce joined the club, we get to know that Penny is no longer active, because she is in hospice care after a stroke, and now she is cared by her devoted husband John, who is a retired veterinarian. So in this movie, the club isn't just a hobby, it's a way for these vibrant seniors to combat the loneliness and decline, which naturally comes with aging. Well, the film opens with the club tackling a baffling 1970s cold case, which is known as the Woman in White. And in the case, Angela Hughes, a young woman, was found dead after falling from a second-story window with a knife in her stomach. And police reports claim it was a robbery gone wrong, and a masked intruder stabbed her and pushed her out of the window. Well, it's all statement, which her boyfriend Peter Mercer told the police. But as per the club, some things doesn't add up. Like after Peter Mercer was released of suspicion, he mysteriously vanished along with the alleged robber. So no one was ever caught, and the details, they really don't add up. Like why didn't Mercer try to stop the bleeding or call for help immediately? So that's why Ron said the whole thing stinks, like a rat up a drainpipe. And well, this case haunts Penny in particular, but she never brought it to the club during her active days. And that is a mystery within the mystery, which will unravel later. But soon after Joyce's joining, things escalated when a real murder hits the shelter. And Tony Curran, one of the owners of Cooper's Chase, is found bludgeoned to death in his home. And his house was ransacked and there is a pool of blood around his body. Well, Tony was a tough guy with a criminal past, but he had a soft spot for the retirement home, because his Aunt Maud lived there. But as the murder happened, suspicion falls on Ian Ventham, who is Tony's business partner, and the one pushing to demolish Cooper's Chase and a historic cemetery, because he wants to build luxury apartments. Well, Tony opposed the development, which creates a clear motive for murder. But there is no hard evidence, and the police, including young Constable Donna, are stumped. So to save Cooper's Chase, the club dives in, interviewing suspects and digging into Tony's shady dealings. And they even uncover connections to Ron's son Jason, and a third shareholder Bobby Tanner. Well, Ron's son Jason is a famous boxer with a rough history, and Bobby Tanner is a notorious criminal long thought dead. But unlike Ron's son Jason, Bobby got a reputation for ruthless acts, like removing body parts from those who cross him. Then during a protest against the development, Ian collapses and dies on the spot. And there Elizabeth met Ian's henchman Bogdan, but on the other side, Joyce examines Ian and confirms he is dead, and later it is revealed to be a lethal dose of fentanyl. But after Ian's death, Bogdan comes to see Elizabeth, and he told her to meet him in the cemetery in night. And when Elizabeth goes to the cemetery, Bogdan shows her a skeleton, which is on top of another skeleton, and that's how they found the skeleton of Peter Mercer, the boyfriend from the cold case. So now there are two murders and a skeleton, like Tony's bludgeoning, Ian's poisoning, and the skeleton of Peter Mercer of the cold case. Well, the club suspects a larger scheme, which involves illegal labor trafficking. And it turns out that the Cooper's Chase owners Tony, Ian, and the hidden third partner Bobby, they were smuggling European workers into the UK, seizing their passports, and exploiting them for cheap labor. Then with help from Donna, Elizabeth tracks Bobby to his hideout at a flower shop called Thorn Blooms. Then Elizabeth confronts him, and Bobby confesses the trafficking operation, but he denies killing Tony or Ian. And because he is the secret third owner, and now the sole proprietor after the deaths, Elizabeth strikes a deal with him, and he agrees to sell Cooper's Chase to a buyer of Elizabeth's choosing, to keep his location secret. And then Bobby revealed a shocking twist, that Bobby led his workers to go back to their country eventually, but Tony is a power-hungry man, who doesn't let his workers leave. And after hearing that, Elizabeth realized who could have killed Tony. Then on the other side, Bogdan, the mild-mannered henchman of Ian, is playing chess with Stephen, and Stephen is Elizabeth's husband who has dementia. And after Stephen accused Bogdan of Tony's murder, Bogdan started to reveal his story. Actually, Bogdan was brought from Poland as part of the illegal scheme, had his passport confiscated, preventing him from visiting his dying mother who suffered from dementia. And that day in a desperate confrontation, Tony attacked Bogdan when he demanded his passport back, and that confrontation leads Bogdan to kill him in self-defense. Well, the film leaves this part slightly open-ended, as we don't see the exact events of that day. But Bogdan didn't know that Stephen records his every chess game, and like that, the confession was captured on tape, leading to Bogdan's arrest. So here we capture Tony's killer, but what about Ian, because Bogdan said he didn't kill Ian? Well, after the arrest of Bogdan there comes a heartbreaking twist. Like, why didn't Penny suggested investigating Angela during her time in the club? Well, Elizabeth pieces it together, and Peter Mercer was Angela's real killer, not a robber. Actually, the male-dominated 1970s police force let him walk free despite the evidence. But Penny wants justice, and she took matters into her own hands, and she killed Mercer and buried his body in the Cooper's Chase cemetery. But into the present, Ian's development plans involved digging up the cemetery, which could expose Mercer's remains and Penny's vigilante act. That's why, to protect his wife's secret, John, Penny's husband, with access to fentanyl, poisoned Ian during the protest. And it was also revealed that he also helped Penny bury Mercer years ago. And while confronted by the club, John confesses everything. And understanding the complexity of justice and mercy, Elizabeth gives John a moment alone with Penny. And he used the leftover fentanyl to end both their lives peacefully, which spared them from prison and allowing Penny a dignified exit from her suffering. And lastly, with Bobby's cooperation, Cooper's Chase is saved from development. And Joyce is officially inducted into the Thursday Murder Club, ensuring the group continues. So it's a story about humanity amid aging, where humor is mixed with serious themes like dementia, loss, and moral gray areas. Thanks for watching, and if you loved this video, then give it a like, and subscribe for more Movie Explains.